Y seguimos con más de este Mining Meeting. Mi nombre es Florencia Pula, soy editora general del Cronista. Y en este caso estoy con Bradley Pielsticker, fundador y CEO de UMPC, right?
Yes.
Vamos a hablar un poquito en inglés ahora y después volvemos a castellano para el final. I'm going to switch to English now.
Thank you.
Bradley, tell me a bit about yourself, about CEO, and about the project in general in Argentina, and what does the United Mining Projects Corporation do?
Okay. I think my current role as CEO of UMPC is a culmination of the years of experience that I've had coming up to now. I started off starting up a transportation company, and then was in commodity trading. I then was in construction, and so the mining company that we've started up now is a culmination of all of that industry experience combined with the geology and the knowledge of some of the people that we have. UMPC is a relatively new company in the mining field, and we've been lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, both as far as our employees and help from local officials in the government, in order to be able to purchase a concession in Catamarca, lithium concession. And we are now in the middle of our first drilling campaign.
Okay, let's talk a bit about that project in particular. We're talking about investments in Argentina. Tell me about the $550 million investment in Rio Grande, Catamarca.
Yeah. So that's our budget for the project, which is taking it through to production. We have it budgeted using a direct lithium extraction process in order to do that, to produce 10,000 tons a year of LCE, of lithium carbonate equivalent.
Okay. And what do you think Argentina is special in this regard? What makes it special in order for a company like yours to invest?
Argentina, obviously being one of the top 4 countries in the world with supplies, makes it a target. Makes it a target to begin with. I think the time frame when we came in was very advantageous to us, because we had a government that was going out, that was being very accommodating to making sure that we could get the support and help that we needed to do our investment. And the new government that's come in has continued on that line and is doing a lot to make sure that we have the resources and don't get stopped in the bureaucracy of what can happen in a lot of these mining projects. Argentina, with the new RIGI law that they've come out with, is obviously trying to continue that momentum, which I think is great. I think it's very necessary in order to facilitate that type of long-term investment in that amount.
We were talking outside before the panel began about lithium prices, right?
Yes.
And you told me something very interesting about commodity prices outside of China, where most lithium is produced today. Can you tell me a bit about that? I think it would be great for the audience to hear.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of discussions about the lithium prices, about where they're going to stabilize and what is a fair lithium price, both for the business and for the mining business and for the companies. And in order to secure supply, there is an idea that we think makes a lot of sense, to supply lithium outside of just the China suppliers that are producing within China, and obviously the companies that are investing outside of China. And that's producing a benchmark price for lithium that is ex-China, so a non-China produced lithium. What that would do is create essentially a different commodity price that would make the production of lithium more international. It would reduce the reliance on certain markets, and I think a lot of governments would feel a lot more comfortable having a supply of lithium that isn't monopolized by a few countries.
Do you think Argentina could benefit from it?
I think it would definitely benefit from it. I think the resulting price for lithium would probably be higher than the current market price today. I think that the increase in the royalty fees that the company would get, that the increase in, it would also open up some facilities or some fields that wouldn't be necessarily feasible at today's price, would open them up for further development and further production. So anything that can increase the existing royalties and open up new opportunities, I think would be great for the country.
Do you think Argentina is far behind in regards to lithium extraction, in regards to other countries that do the same?
I think that the good thing about Argentina getting into, or sort of starting to really take advantage of the reserves that it has now, is that there has been in the last 5 years a lot of investment in new technologies to make lithium mining, and especially brine mining, both more efficient as well as more environmentally friendly. So because it doesn't have a lot of legacy projects that would need to switch over, things like that, I think it's at the right time. I think it's coming into its stride at the right time with the new technologies that are coming out, almost on a monthly basis.
Let's talk a bit about technology and the environment, okay? What kind of methods of extraction do you usually use in UMPC? And yeah, I hear they're really innovative, right?
Well, there's three main types of lithium extraction processes that are being looked at right now. The ones that we're looking at more are the ion exchange and absorption. And it's just different ways of, once the brine is out of the ground, different ways of separating the lithium and purifying the lithium from the brine. To do that in a more feasible way that would also allow mining companies to re-inject the water back into the water basin. So trying to make it a full cycle process that touches as little of the environment as possible.
Do you think mining companies in general have grown into matters like taking more care of the environment, of the communities that are around the projects? What do you see in terms of developing that kind of familiarity with communities, with the environment?
I think in the last 15 to 20 years, the mining industry has changed remarkably. And the idea of a mining operation without the local community being involved and benefiting from it isn't viable today. So the good thing is it brings everybody to the table at an early stage in the process, and it allows everybody to see the progress and to take advantage of it. We've got projects with the communities where we're mining that involve both training for them to become entrepreneurs, to be service providers to us, to education so that they can get different jobs and within the mining field, and it seems to be working well.
Okay. I'm wondering about the challenges that lay ahead in Argentina in particular. Of course, we can talk about infrastructure, but maybe there are more. Can you tell me what challenges lay ahead for the country in terms of lithium, of course, lithium extraction? Well,
I think any investment, the thing that money likes the best is stability.
Okay.
And when you can invest in a stable environment where you have a pretty good understanding of what the regulations are going to be and what the taxes are going to be, how you're going to be able to get a return on your investment, that's the key to enabling more players to come into this market. Argentina is going to have that challenge because they are making a lot of changes. The changes are required because of the previous instability in the country would have made it more difficult for a lot of the bigger players to come in. And so, as you mentioned, previously before, what the RIGI law attempts to do is to resolve some of those issues and try to take away some of the questions that we have with regards to the stability of the laws that they're trying to put in place now.
Great. And what about infrastructure? I mean, I'm sure in these remote areas in Argentina, there's plenty of things to do. Can you tell me what can we do in order to facilitate investment in those areas?
Well, I mean, the more roads that get built and the more infrastructure that goes into these places for mining companies will trickle down to other things, from the local entrepreneurs that are doing services to the environmental tourism. I mean, there are many things that can come from that. The infrastructure that is required, that not a lot of the companies can afford themselves, is roads and rail and power. And so there is still a requirement for mining companies to get help from the governments in putting in that infrastructure, with the government's understanding that they're not only going to benefit from it through the mining income, but it's going to really help grow the communities around and keep those communities flourishing, or allow them to flourish, I guess.
We talked about the RIGI law a couple of minutes ago. I want to ask you, what kind of legislation does Argentina need from a foreign investment perspective in order for mining projects to bloom?
Well, again, it's the stability. And so one of the things that the RIGI law does is to try and provide some of that stability in not only creating the framework of taxes and approvals that are going to be required, but also coding them into the law so that they can't be changed when the government changes, because that is the worst thing that can happen. If that happens after the next change in government, then you'll be back to square one of having a country that is unpredictable with its fiscal policies, and that will reduce the number of investors that are able to come to the country. So the things that the RIGI law is trying to do, I think, are really good, and we look forward to being able to take advantage of it.
Great. One last question about UMPC and its projects in Argentina for the next couple of years. How do you see the company growing in Argentina? I don't know, in the next 5 years, for example. Yeah, well, we are continually looking for new projects, and we have a number of sites that we have shortlisted that we're in negotiations on. So we hope to have some things to announce within the next few months, but we'll see. We hope to get to a platform where we would have 25,000 tons a year of production. And so within 5 years, we hope to be at that level. Thank you very much for your time. We talked with Bradley Pielsticker, founder and CEO of UMPC. I'm going to switch to Spanish now. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros, Bradley, y lo dejamos con mucho más de este Mining Meeting. Gracias.